saints and friends. It's a beautiful morning, and I want to talk to you guys about something that's huge. It's huge. James Gunn came out defending the Snyder Cut fans, the Zack Snyder fans. He said he thinks it's very unfair that the Snyder Cut fans are being vilified for the actions of just a very few, and that he doesn't think it's toxic to ask for um, a movie that you want to see. And that's huge because I talked to you guys about the fact that if James Gunn threw his weight behind it, behind the restore the Snyderverse, which he's interested in seeing, he's been interested in the Snyder Cut and seeing it. After seeing the Snyder Cut, I'm pretty sure he's interested in seeing the Snyderverse. And what's so interesting about that, and what I really like about James Gunn, gotta say, is he's very inclusive. He's really trying to include a lot of people in a lot of things. And I always see him defending people when it comes to inclusion. Um, so, of course, James Gunn once again produced Brightburn, which is a version of the Superman story where Superman's evil. Okay. Um, and that universe, that Brightburn universe, I'm looking forward to that heavily. I gotta say, I got an interest in sequels for Brightburn, so they kind of put some Easter eggs in there for future people in that universe, and I'm looking forward to that. Okay, Brightburn's more like a horror film. Nonetheless, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, just like how I look forward to Split, Glass, and Unbreakable. I'm looking forward to the Brightburn universe, and it's horrifying. Now, I'm gonna tell you, Brightburn makes you want to not go to sleep. But people talk about the dark Superman. No, 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 no. Man of Steel Superman's not dark, not at all. Realistic, yes. Dark, no. Brightburn Superman's dark. Y'all better go watch Brightburn before you start talking about Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. And I really give huge props to James Gunn for producing that movie because it puts a balance on the criticism of Zack Snyder. And I know James Gunn, and Zack Snyder, they kind of get along pretty good. Um, in addition, I just want to talk about the fact that not only did James Gunn put his weight behind us, the fans, after we, the fans, or a lot of our fans supported him, and I pledged my support to go see his movie, Suicide Squad, for the reason that he threw his support away. He didn't have to do it. And especially right in the aftermath of Ann Sarnoff vilifying fans, which is a dumb thing to do, okay? Just because I guess she envies the fact that directors have a relationship with fans. Um, that was just incredibly dumb to do. But James Gunn came out there and he's setting the record straight, not just for Ann Sarnoff, but also for the media that's been attacking fans for the longest while, and then people trying to take that who don't like maybe Zack Snyder's universe or whatever, and attacking also the fans who I can tell you, me personally as a fan, I have not attacked James Gunn stuff. I told you the trailer didn't really get me amped for the movie, but I'm going to go see the movie regardless. Again, because of what James Gunn said and how he took a stance. And I love that. With respect to the film that we're all looking forward to, Black Adam is going to be facing uh, the Justice Society of America, right, with Dr. Fate and those guys. So those guys are going to be introduced in there, and we know that Dwayne the Rock Johnson doesn't go into no, he don't do no half hash, you know, you know, jokey kind of film. Now, Dwayne don't do that. Dwayne don't mess around, and I know Dwayne is a huge fan of the early DCEU, and he's saying now he literally pulled characters from the Snyder Cut Justice League members to give out his warning to them that he's about to shake up the universe. So I just loved it, and the fact that he used not Josh Whedon's Justice League version, but Zack Snyder's Justice League version tells you that Dwayne the Rock Johnson is going the Zack Snyder way, and no matter what Warner Brothers or Ann Sarnoff or Arsenal says about that or Warner Brothers Pictures say that Justice League is the canon. Listen, these guys aren't following that. Patty Jenkins says she wasn't following that. Dwayne the Rock Johnson says they're not working off of that. Okay. James Gunn, he hasn't said anything about that. He's got a completely different story. But the point is, no matter what Warner Brothers Pictures tells you, look at what the directors are doing. Look at what the filmmakers are doing. Look who they're building off of. Dwayne the Rock Johnson is solidifying that there is a Snyderverse and it will exist. And the fact that James Gunn is being an apologist for Snyder Cut fans tells you that James Gunn wants the Snyderverse as a fan himself. Like I said before to you guys, do not listen to Warner Brothers and what they're putting out there in the media. Stand strong. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag AFSP or any sort of foundation for suicide prevention. Hashtag feeding America. Let's not forget feeding America. And watch the spark out of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Watch the spark out of it because it's making records. It's breaking records all around the world. And listen, man, I'm so excited. I am so excited. The future looks bright. We Snyder Cut fans are not here. And let me just say it one more time. Shout out to Leroy. We are not here to get rid of the Hamadaverse. We don't care about the Hamadaverse like that. Okay? Anybody you see putting out there to boycott a movie or to sabotage a movie, let them know we are not a part of them. We disassociate ourselves with any destructive, hateful behavior. We are not there. We don't go up on people's pages and people's sites and people's web pages to bad talk their movies. We don't do that. I've never done it, and you guys should never do it either. We are here to promote the Snyderverse. We are here to watch good movies. If I go and I see that James Gunn's Suicide Squad is the bomb, I'm going to tell you that. But I will still ask for the Ayer cut. If I go and I watch Godzilla versus Kong, which I'm not interested in watching Godzilla versus Kong, to be honest with you, but if I do end up watching it and it is good, I will tell you that. We in the Snyderverse are not people who are going to denigrate some other directors and a whole bunch of crew members and a whole bunch of producers' work. We're not into that. We're not into that. Why? We heard, I just listened to on a particular stream that Ann Sarnoff, okay, Ann Sarnoff, Walter Hamada, and Toby Emmerich, somehow they've gotten a gag order on Jason Keeler and on all of them, a gag order on saying anything about the Snyder Cut. So they put a gag order. Somehow they got a gag order on it. So Jason Keeler can't say anything, and also the other guy at HBO Max. Jason Keeler is chomping at the bit. He wants this. He wants the Snyderverse. He wants HBO Max to be doing movies in theaters. So don't get it twisted. Jason Keeler is our ally because he's the one that got the Snyder Cut out there. But you can't put a gag order on the fans. You can't put a gag order on James Gunn. You can't put you'll never put a gag order on The Rock. You'll never put a gag order on Syncope, which is Christopher Nolan's company, because Christopher Nolan's been promoting the Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, and he even put restore the Snyderverse. Christopher Nolan. So Warner Brothers better watch it, because they're the only people out here who messing up everything, and they not. Because it's still proceeding as usual. Because Zack Snyder, he don't have to toot his horn. He can say whatever he want to say. But at the end of the day, the fans will win this war. The studio is going to lose this one. And guess what? We know of two executives who want the studio to lose this one. And they're high up in the company. And AT&T is also very interested in seeing this move forward. I'm pretty sure about that. Okay? It's not just Jason Keeler, and it's not just the guy who is the head of HBO Max. Trust me. With respect to the Hamadaverse, I wish them well. I am not against whatever Mr. Walter Hamada wants to do with his Hamadaverse, but he is still to be held accountable for his apology to the people, the cast and crew on Justice League that he has not apologized to. And I will say, I am talking about the cast and crew like Kersey Clemens, people of color, who Ray Fisher has called out and said Walter Hamada needs to apologize to those people. And he needs to, because he also, like he said, he tried to interfere at least with the investigation. So I hold him accountable. And I know Walter Hamada wants to push the Jeff Johns narrative, and he wants to push the Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich and John Berg and Joss Whedon and Ann Sonoff narrative. That's what they want to push. But guess what, Walter Hamada? I'm going to say this. I am not even business with you. Your name shouldn't have even been in my mouth, because we're not interested in you anymore. Okay? And whatever your movies are that come out, fine. If they're good, we'll go watch them. If they're not good, we're not going to watch them. But this is the fact. We're not interested in you right now. You're not the focus because you're a tangential thing. You're DC Films. We're talking about the Snyderverse, and we want to see the Snyderverse exist. And it can exist with the Hamadaverse. So I have no issue with Hamada. I don't care about Hamada right now. To be honest with you, I don't care about him. He can do whatever he wants. Right? We're supporting James Gunn and Suicide Squad. And I want all Snyder Cut fans to understand, at least give it one watch. Let it be successful as much as possible. But if it's not your thing, then you don't have to watch it. I'm going to watch it because James Gunn, see, loyalty is so important in this world. James Gunn came out on a limb when he knows, and Sarnoff made statements, when he knows what Walter Hamada thinks about the Snyder Cut, that it's a cul-de-sac. He turned out there and said, I support the fans. Jim Lee came out and said he supports the fans. And whether it's the Snyder Cut fans or not, he supports all DC fans. And let me say something. I love Jim Lee. And I got to say this. I wrote for you, James Gunn, so you could get Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And now I'm going to say this, James Gunn. Even though I don't like what you was doing with, my boy, what's his name? Jace, the Joker guy. I forgot what his name is right now. Right? I didn't like what you said about the Joker guy. And you slipped up a couple times with different things. But hey, I will support you because you're supporting us. You didn't have to say what you said, but you did. You didn't agree with the person who was saying, oh, the Snyder Cut fans are biting bad reviews. He was like, nah. Most of the Snyder Cut fans are supporting me. So I want to just let people know. And James Gunn is also in support of the Ayer cut. James Gunn is also in support of the, man, look, I don't care what nobody say. I'm supporting James Gunn. So I will go out there and watch Suicide Squad. And even if it's not my kind of movie, I will give it the review that it deserves. Then I'll tell people it's not my kind of movie. Okay? I don't mind doing that for a guy like James Gunn. I don't mind doing it. Okay? Shout out to Leroy Kong, man. It's in the chat area right here. So we're going to throw our support behind James Gunn. But y'all need to understand, it's the Snyder Cut fans that make a movie or break a movie. If you think about it, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a huge success because of the Snyder Cut fans. James Gunn recognizes that. You know who else recognized that? Jason Momoa. And yeah, my dude, what's his name? I forgot his name. Who did Shazam, the director of Shazam. He was trying to go there, but he couldn't garner the support. And Patty Jenkins just totally disassociated herself with the Snyder Cut. She was like, nah, that don't exist and stuff. She jeopardized herself. And we still went out and supported the movie because of not Joaquin Phoenix, man. He was in the Snyder Cut, the Joker in the Snyder Cut. Not Joaquin Phoenix. Yo, we will support you, James Gunn. Know that day one. It might be in the cinemas, but I'll watch it on HBO Max. Oh, not on HBO Max when it comes out on Google, Google Play. I forget I'm not in the United States of America, man. But if y'all bring down HBO Max Caribbean, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. I think there's HBO Max down here, but it's just so expensive to get it with a whole entire package. But if you guys could digitally allow me to access HBO Max on my phone, god damn it, I'm gonna subscribe for life. The content on that thing is just so good. It's my kind of movie selections, man. That's my kind of thing. Leroy Kong says it's really big. WB are holding back records. Man, WB is holding back a bright and prosperous future where the Hamadaverse, where the Snyderverse, where the CW verse, where the DC Online verse all exist. Listen, Warner Brothers, you got 4 universes. And you're not exploiting the potential that you got. You have got to be out of your damn mind. You got to be out of your damn mind. Look, man, The Rock is ready to cross over the Hamadaverse with the Snyderverse. Man, y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping. We already got a crossover with the CW, with the Flash is starting to cross over with the CW. Man, look, man, y'all tripping. Y'all got so much. DC's got so much. We know ultimately DC got crossover with Marvel, and then we also got a crossover with the Transformer-verse. Man, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Leroy Kong says, restore the Snyderverse. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And he keeps on breaking records in different countries, different districts. I could put up right now. I could show you the number one selling right now. The number one selling movie on Google Play is, guess what? Zack Snyder's Justice League. it's just, and everybody's jumping on the train now. Everybody, because they realize this is for real. Leroy Khan says Jason Keeler is fighting hard for the Snyderverse. He gonna win. He gonna win because he got allies. He got allies all around. He's gonna win. I'm telling you, man. You can't go up against the fans. That's what Warner Brothers don't understand. You're picking a war you're going to lose. You're going up against fans. The fans are what stimulate interest. The fans, not casuals. The fans. That's what y'all don't get. Y'all don't get it. Y'all didn't support Joker. Y'all should have learned your lesson. You didn't support Joker. I knew I was going to see Joker. I knew that. From the first trailer, I said, oh, shit, this is a movie I got to see. Why? Because I'm a fan. We know the lore. And yeah, Joker didn't go exactly to the lore, but explain how he could have been Joker. Loved it. Y'all tripping. Wins Academy Awards, all kinds of stuff. Y'all tripping. Y'all don't know what y'all got. And your analytics is off. The Hamadaverse will not work. Man, listen. Yo, that's not my business whether it works or not. My focus now is the Snyderverse. I have become focused on what I want. And I know the following things. I know HBO Max has content on it that I like. So put the Snyderverse, please, on HBO Max. And let HBO Max produce movies. And bypass Warner Brothers Pictures and DC Films. I know it's not possible to bypass DC Films, but they're going to have rubber stamp shit. But my point is, anyway, the streaming service is going to win out. Big time. And right now, it seems as though there's a loggerheads because Ann Sarnoff and Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich, they're probably not in support. Probably everybody got to vote on something, and they got the majority right now. Unless AT&T comes in there, the big guy in AT&T, and he casts his vote in the equation, and then it's over. But it's already clearly over. They've lost the battle already. The statistics, the charts, the support that's mainstream. We've gone mainstream with this stuff. They've lost the battle already. But they're still trying to fight and twist and shift and turn. But it's over already. The Snyderverse will be there. And for the people who want content in the Hamadaverse, it'll be there for you. It'll be there for you. And some movies will hit and some movies won't land. And it's just what it is. All right. The CW is the same thing. Some things hit, some things don't land. It's what it is. It's a creative process. Okay. But what I'm gonna tell you is, regardless of that, Hamada is trying to get a sort of a efficiently run economical model. That's what he's trying to get. That's his thing. With Zack Snyder, it's big budget for big profit. You put big investment, big profit. Okay, he makes big movies. He's a small independent filmmaker who can make small movies with small budget. We saw it with Dawn of the Dead. He's going to do Army of the Dead just now, and a lot of people are going to throw their support behind it. I'm not really into zombie movies. Like the Dawn of the Dead didn't really rock well with me. 300 didn't even rock well with me. These were the big hits that Zack Snyder had. But honestly speaking, the movies that hit me hard: Sucker Punch, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians. Guardians. The Owls of Gahul. Guardians of the something, whatever. That, and also, of course, Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder Justice League. And let me just say something. He talking about BVS is the weakest of the three. No. No, you got it upside down. BVS Ultimate Edition is probably the best of the three. Okay. But I think that Zack Snyder's Justice League, that last one, is just so emotive. It's the most emotional of all of them. And I cried for Man of Steel too. Okay. I didn't cry so much in BVS, but I definitely cried in Man of Steel. But Justice League had me in tears. Like, I was crying straight through the movie. It was such a cathartic movie on top of everything. So it was just crazy, man. That's a crazy movie. Jared Leto, that's the name. Jared Leto. Yeah, I don't like what he was saying, but I mean, probably he knows something about Jared Leto. I don't know. Yeah, Suicide Squad is already added to my top 82 greatest movies with Zack Justice League at number 1. Cool. But I want to see David Ayer's version, which I know is going to be much more serious, crazy but serious and out there. And James Gunn is doing a version of that as well, but his is going to be funnier, obviously. The Snyderverse can work in the multiverse. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Do you see who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to? He has his JLA that he's going to have to face. But who is he talking about? He's talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. He ain't talking about the Whedon cut. Hell no. He pulled clips from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's sold on Zack Snyder. He thinks Zack Snyder's a visionary. So I couldn't really care what Walter Amada says, or Ian Sarnoff. I really couldn't care what they say. Right? They're not making the movies. And as far as I can see, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is looking at Zack Snyder's Justice League as the Justice League movie. So you could say, oh, that's an Elseworld movie, and that's not canon. Well, guess what? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson ain't looking at the other one. He's looking at Zack Snyder's Justice League, okay? And when you see people like Patty Jenkins talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League being the real Justice League, when you hear people like James Gunn defending Snyder Cut people, you better get it. These are directors. Or these are the people, the actors, the principal actors in movies. They're looking at Zack Snyder's work. Now, tell me, why would you want? Okay, Patty Jenkins is highly offended at how Wonder Woman was treated in the theatrical cut of Justice League, with Flash falling on her boobs and making her over sexualized and stuff. She was highly offended by that movie. Okay. She has nothing to do with it. When Joss Whedon was kicked off, she was like, yes. She was hooray. Okay. Why would you want to offend Patty Jenkins? Why would you want to offend James Gunn, or even Not so much James Gunn, because James Gunn also does some humor that is not necessarily my cup of tea at all. But why would you want to offend Dwayne the Rock Johnson? These are principled people, man. These are your stars. These are people that make money. They put bank in bank. Okay, so y'all got to be tripping if y'all think that Ansonoff or even Walter Amado, these guys who may be executives, you might be executives, but you ain't got no clout like that. Because the directors have been saying what they're following through with. The fans have told you what they're following through with. Okay, so I gotta go get something to eat because my stomach's really giving me problems. But I'm just saying, the writing's on the wall now. They got zero legs to hold on. All they got is their egos and Jeff Johns trying to egg them on in the background. And guess what, Jeff Johns? It's a message for Jeff Johns. Bro, you suck. You suck, bruh. You suck. You behave like a snake. You try to sabotage a process. Okay, so you suck. You're not good at making movies, and you're definitely not good in the process of doing even TV shows. Well, okay, Krypton could have been a much better movie, much better TV show, but your dialogue sucks. Like you don't know how to do dialogue for characters that feels real and authentic. It sucks. Okay. And that's just for Jeff Johns. You make hella comics. When it comes to be a comic book writer, you're a hell of a comic book writer. But you should stay away from film and you should stay away from TV. You should just be somebody to advise, to give people advice about different things from the comics. That's it. And they don't have to take your advice. Okay. But you suck. From Green Lantern to present day, you suck. All right? That's the truth. Like, that's not your forte. Stay in your lane. Okay? So that's all I got to say. Jim Lee, he's good at making comics, and he's good at facilitating people. That's what you're supposed to do in this business. Quite frankly, Jeff Johns threatening Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher's going to be Cyborg. You're going to have to watch him become Cyborg. Okay? Because I detest people who are bullies. I detest people who are narcissistic bullies who want to control everything. Your days, Jeff Johns, are over. Now, with respect to Walter Hamada, because we all know Jeff Johns is the one wheeling and dealing in the background. Diane Nielsen pretty much broke that out before she disappeared from off of Twitter. I'm going to say this. Anything negative you hear in the media is because Jeff Johns has something to do with it. No disrespect to everybody else, but this dude, man, be dirty in the background. Riding dirty. And I don't like people who ride dirty. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The push for the Snyder Cut is the important thing. Okay. As to the executives who are clueless and holding back Warner Brother Pictures from really doing great things, y'all could have rolled on with Walter Hamada and let Zack Snyder do what he do. Zack Snyder not going to be doing a whole bunch of films. He's going to do Justice League 2 and 3, and that's it for him. And the other directors take it from there. We still need to have a Cyborg film. We've had a lot of Man of Steel films, right? We had Man of Steel, then we had Batman v Superman, then we had Justice League, okay? Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1. There are 3 parts. Now, he'll have 2 more. We look forward to seeing Henry Cavill. I hear people trying to say that he won't come back. He's the guy for the job at present. Okay? They're trying to blacklist Ray Fisher. That's not going to happen. We as fans are not going to let that happen. They're trying to blacklist Gina Carano. We're not going to let that happen. Fans need to stand up. You all need to stand up. By the way, Alita. We want to see Alita Battle Angel, a sequel for that. That's 1. 2, there's another sequel I want to see. I just forgot the name of the film. It's a really good film. But I want to see sequels for films Shout out to Disney. I think Disney's handling Alita Battle Angel right now. James Cameron was the one producing it. Listen, man, we need more of Alita Battle Angel. We need more. We need more, ladies and gentlemen. These are films that we like, and we want more of it. And fans need to stand up, and we're pushing for the air cut as well. Jared Leto seemed to have put on even greater performances. We want to see it. Okay? We're not making demands, but we will request it because the air cut is part of the Snyderverse. Okay? And whether they're rebooting it with James Gunn or not, I don't really care. We want to see it. Okay? David Sandberg directed Shazam. Right, Sandberg, that's the guy. Yeah. And shout out to David Sandberg. I'm sorry about what happened with you with Shazam, but you got greenlit for another one, so you're going to have another one. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily my cup of tea, but hey, I heard it's supposed to be a heartwarming movie. I haven't even watched it completely, so I can't say. Um, with respect to what Leroy Kong is saying here, let me just get you. This was supposed to be a short thing. I gotta go eat. DC Films is now dead. No, DC Films is there. They just need to remove. Walter Mata is the guy that's in charge of DC Films right now. Okay, and he's making low budget films to try and get high turnover. He hasn't quite been successful with that and getting all the fans on board, and that's mainly because the Snyder Cut fans really don't dig his movies. That's the truth. The movies, the universe of movies he's trying to set up. But he says he has a plan to mix horror with whatever. So, hey man, I'm not very enthusiastic about it, but if he can put out something that's good, I'll look at it. Leroy Cohn says Zack Snyder's Justice League is gold. Sir, boy, if it is gold again. It's like it's not just gold, it's a gold mine. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody quite that do visuals like Zach, you know what I mean? And from the angles and the perspective and the emotion, with the emotion and all of that. So it's like, and then the multiple layers of meaning and all of that stuff, it's just, Zach's like a treasure chest. He's like a comic book fan's dream, because he's a fan himself. So, it is what it is. Once again, all I want is people with the right attitude. Jim Lee would be a great guy to do DC films, even though he's not a filmmaker. That's the downside to it. Walter Hamada, he's actually done films. He's actually produced films, and he's also actually directed films. So he's got that film experience, But he's only associating himself with people he worked with. Toby Everett, James Wan, all the people who worked on, not Miramax, what was it? It's not Miramax, it's New Line Cinema. So he's bringing in a whole set of New Line Cinema people to work with. But I say, look, dude, you can't just be bringing in New Line Cinema people and Marvel people. You gotta mix it up. You know what I'm saying? To get the best possible result. But he's only trying to bring in and harness people who he's had relationships with. Leroy Collins says Avatar. Yeah. We want to see that Avatar sequel. Yes. So, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited in terms of those kinds of sequels. I'm also looking forward to Dune, which is later on this year. I'm looking forward to Dune like nobody's business, bro. You know what I mean? Anyways, this is what I had to say. The Snyder Cut inevitably will come to be. It will be. I'm not Snyder Cut. Snyderverse. Snyder Cut's already in existence. The Snyderverse will come to be. It is a matter of getting it greenlit, and they're probably all sitting down trying to plan, figure out how to optimize on this big, huge thing. Because if you notice, Warner Brother Pictures did a couple things. One, it's actually promoted the Snyder Cut. Believe it or not, it promoted the Snyder Cut. Warner Brother Pictures, I think it was India, one of them promoted the Snyder Cut. And then on top of that, Warner Brother Pictures also was promoting Batman v Superman, and that thing sold out like if it was liquid. Man of Steel's been playing. So they understand, Warner Brothers understands Zack Snyder is the draw. They know this. Okay, when they're trying to promote movies, you see them use Zack Snyder. That's because they're trying to get Snyder Cut fans, because the Snyder Cut fans are huge now, and we got more now people, even casuals, joining the Snyder Cut team. So it's gonna be crazy, man. And you've seen a whole set of prominent people now showing up. So it's gonna be nuts. I see some people say their minds were blown by the movie. You know, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so it's inevitable we're going to get the Snyderverse. They're playing hardball and all of that, and certain people don't want it to exist, but they got no choice because all the information, data, facts, and information is going in the direction of the Snyderverse. There's no doubt about it. The casuals are onto the Snyderverse now. They're onto the Snyder Cut. They want sequels. The casuals. You got a problem when it's not just the core hardcore fans anymore, or the fans that support a particular director, but now casuals are on board. That's where you got problems, because now there's no way you can stop it. You could try and make vendettas, you could try and do spin, you could try and tell lies. It don't matter. People gonna ask for it. Okay, you can't distract them either. And I'm not gonna be distracted. I can go watch James Gunn Suicide Squad and still come back and say I want the haircut. You're not stopping me. We're not distracted. We are focused like never before. And Ray Fisher's going to get justice. And he's going to come back as Cyborg. Yeah, we want that Borg movie. We want that Cyborg movie. We don't want no Cyborg and Flash, but if you guys want him to still star in the Flash movie, but you cannot be Ezra Miller's supposed to have a Flash movie. That I don't know if that Flash movie will come off or not. They might have to spin off and do some other Flash movie. You know what I'm saying? But Ezra Miller is a great actor. He showed that he could go across the CW and do something. You know what I'm saying? But you got to come correct now. After what we saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you got to come correct. You got to come, and that's all. It means you have to raise the bar. And apparently, Walter Hamada and they don't want to raise the bar. They're intimidated by that. Don't be intimidated. Embrace it. Embrace the challenge. Be excited. Ezra Miller's excited to play the role again. Henry Cavill's excited to play the role again. Be excited. I don't understand these people. He's just asking you to up your game and not just put out any old crappy movie. I was disappointed with Wonder Woman 84, particularly the action scenes in the movie. And yeah, it didn't have a lot of action scenes, but it was disappointing. Okay, it was disappointing. But Patty Jenkins is a hell of a director. Hell of a director. We saw what she did in the first Wonder Woman movie. Okay? We saw what she did in the first Wonder Woman movie. And so I don't want Patty Jenkins to ever be axed. Once she's ready, she should make the next Wonder Woman movie. All I ask Patty Jenkins, Patty, please, if you're hearing somebody out there, we just been trying to be reasonable with you, okay? If you're going to do a next Wonder Woman movie, please get proper people to do the stunts and to do the action scenes. All I'm asking. And you can tell whatever story you want. Try to tell something effectual and as potent. I know she tries. But just please don't do that. Don't do certain things. Just don't do them. Okay? I understand where you're going with them, but it's like certain things, you're not an action director, right? And you put it in certain people's hands and they screwed over your movie because of that. Your movie got screwed over because of the action sequences. And not all of them. Some of them were just wonderful. The opening sequence with Wonder Woman on, little Diana, that first opening sequence with the Themysciras was tremendous. And then you went from that to, I don't know what the hell was that. The second sequence, it just had me laughing, okay? All I'm saying is just brush up on your action. I'm willing to embrace your story. I'm willing to a certain degree, suspend my belief. It's a movie, for crying out loud, all right? But there are certain things I just can't go with, and you know, somebody's running at one speed and you can tell that there's a background screen moving at a different rate. That's just ridiculous. Okay, right? That's just ridiculous. Okay, and, unless you're doing it for kids, and I still don't understand why. I mean, dude, it's so much better. I mean, you may be doing spoofs on 1980. I mean, you could be doing all that, but it's just not. I mean, come on, Patty. Come on, Patty. That was disappointing. It was the action in it. It was nothing else. Story was all right. I was going with the story. I was going with the adventure. Some things I was questioning, like what? But I was saying, okay, whatever. It's a story. I'm going with it. Okay. But the action sequences made me laugh, man. I was cracking up. I was crying. it, it took me out the story a bit because the emotional element, the emotional impact, I would have probably gotten and cried again. I didn't cry in this movie at all. Zach cried in the movie, but I didn't because I was kind of taken out the movie by the humor. I understood what was going on, but for me, it was just hilarious. And I guess that's what you wanted. Maybe that's the reaction you wanted from people, but it's kind of like we're poking fun at the movie, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to poke fun at the story, and then you're not taking it seriously, you know. But Patty had, oh man, the soundtrack was so beautiful. Um, yeah. So Leroy Kong, man, shout out to you, brother. We must talk. I'll try to do a live stream. Otherwise, I spent 41 minutes. I was trying to just spend 5. But I'm excited about the future of the Snyderverse. And yes, we're going to get it. But do not just keep that in your head and say, oh, we're going to get it, and just sit back and relax. This is not a time to sit back and relax. This is a time to keep pushing for it. And you need to push for it. Okay? I don't really have a problem with you guys spamming the Warner Brothers pictures that are coming out saying release the Snyderverse. What I have a problem with is you being negative and attacking Godzilla versus Kong and putting up lies, putting up hit pieces on it. That's not what we stand for. We do not stand for that. That's what was done to us. We don't need to do that to other people. It's one thing to be beating down the door with your requests, and it should be a request, not a demand. Beating down the door with your request, okay? But it's another thing when you're disrespecting and you're lying with it. That's not us. We're not that. We may talk about the injustices going on, and maybe we even get angry about it, but we will not be people who deliberately go out there and sabotage other movies. We're not about that. Other groups may do it, but not us. And also, I just want to make it abundantly clear that there are certain things that are sacred. For example, hate against Asians is a no-no. We're not going to put Restore the Snyderverse up in there when Warner Bros. Puts out something like that. We don't do it. If they're raising money for suicide prevention, we're not going to be putting that there. That's not the venue and the forum for that. You can put it for even some other movie that has nothing to do with restoring the Snyderverse. I'm cool with all of that. You can go there. You're trying to get their attention. I get it. But it's another thing when you are actively undermining something that really makes a difference in the world. When I saw a veteran of war for the United States of America, an Asian veteran of the war, have to get up and show his battle scars to show that he is a patriot, then a stand against Asian hate is important. And every act is a political act. And Ray Fisher went at length in with Liz Wander interview. I don't know if you guys saw the interview that I put up on Twitter for you guys to see. And he was talking about how everything's political. And Zack Snyder's movie is a very political movie. But from a humanist point of view, I've been saying this for a minute. It was nice to see Ray Fisher say the same things because he and I at least see eye to eye on some issues. And that's important. And what you guys got to understand is it's not that Zack Snyder got up one morning and said, I'm going to be political. No, he wasn't. He was just being human and kind and gentle. And these virtues, this is what I love about Zack Snyder. And that's why I think he obviously was raised from a Christian background. But you can tell this guy, he's all about virtues and being kind to people. All right. So shout out to Zack Snyder as well. And I just want to say to each and every one of you guys, challenge yourself every single day to be kind, not just to human beings, but to animals and plants and anything that's alive, because living is a gift. Life is a gift. Life is a gift. So let's use our gifts appropriately. All right. I got something for you guys, a little bit of scripture again. Before I get out of here, I should have left a while ago. But I'm gonna, because I realize I have similar minded people out here, people who want to do the same things I'm doing, and it's so awesome. I got the song Us United that's coming out. Us United obviously is the hashtag for suicide prevention, for those of you who don't know. And so a lot of that video is going to be pushed towards and thrust towards suicide prevention. The song that's coming out, I gave you guys a little snippet of the song somewhere around in my channel, somewhere in there. You look through the videos, you'll see Us United, just a little snippet of it. And it's barely based on the song The Crew at War Power, okay, that Junkie SL did, which is the Justice League, basically its theme. But it's an alternate version of it that was done by Metas and Mortals. And he's looking forward to, he keeps on coming on my channel because he's subscribed. He's probably looking forward to me putting out the song. But it's not the song. I finished with the song. It's the video right now I'm working on. And there's so many pieces to it, as you guys will see, that I had to put in that it's taking very, very long to finish off the video part of it. So it's still in work in progress. But I'm looking forward to that. And also, all the skilled, beautiful Snyder Cut fans who have the artistic skills and those who could do music and so on. I want to just give a shout out to Stand Together. Stand Together is a really great song that's done by a fellow Trinidadian, myself actually, Barry Munique, I think it was Monique. He's really cool, and he's part of Release the Snyder Cut movement. He was one of the RS, the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag group. He's part of that. And then there was another song out there. Oh, yes. One of the Snyder Cut fans, he's putting out a song, Hallelujah. And he's got the same sentiments like me to support AFSP. But I see a lot of people not supporting Feeding America, which is Ben Affleck's charity. So I'm going to have to ramp that up as well. Feeding America is very important as well as feeding anybody in any foundation for feeding in your country. So let's get that going. And I want to throw my support behind also those people who have been trying to help and assist people. There's a certain channel on here. I keep on forgetting his name. He's a small channel still, but he puts up a really great program, and he even cites some of the Snyder Cut fans out there. And I forgot what his name is exactly, but I have his channel. I'm subscribed to him, and the next time I will talk about his channel, because I did talk about channel a couple times. He's a really awesome guy. I think he's a Christian dude like myself. So that's enough of that. Let me get to the scripture. What's the scripture for today? All right. Enough of the Psalms. I'm going to give you guys a little something. Release the Snyder Cut. It came to pass, baby. All right. I'm going to give you guys a piece of scripture. It's called a piece of scripture of ascendancy. It's prophetic scripture. So it goes something like this. And it comes from Mark, for those of you who want to check in a Bible or something. It comes from Mark chapter 14. And it starts at verse 59. Verse 60. And the high priest, this is the high priest, high Jewish priest of Jerusalem, Judea. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, saying, why aren't you answering any of our questions? What is it that these witnesses have against you. But he did not say anything. Then the high priest asked him and said, Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed? And Jesus said, I am. And you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. And the high priest tore his clothes and said, What do we need of any other witnesses? You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? And they all condemned him to be guilty of death. And some began to spit on him and cover his face, buffet him, which means to beat him up, and to say to him, Prophesy. And the servants did strike him with the palms of their hands. Ascendancy. Ascendancy. Prophetic ascendancy. What is that? So, Jesus declared to the high priest, mind you, a man who should know who is God and who is the Son of God. He told him that he is the Messiah, the Savior. He is the Son of God. He acknowledged that that is true. He hadn't said anything since then. All the accusations and stuff, he never defended himself. But when it was time for him to declare who he was, he spoke it. And he said, You will see me coming through the clouds on the right hand of power. And for this, he was spat upon, smacked around and punched and beaten and mocked. I want you to understand, and this is what I love about Zack Snyder as well, ascendancy happens with declaration. And Jesus ascended up into heaven as he was speaking. He spoke from the place of heaven. I must sound very churchy like right now, but that's okay. It's a spiritual concept. And while he was in heaven, on earth, he was being beaten for telling the truth in a satanic ritual of a being. Now, if you think about ascendancy, you would never think ascendancy is that somebody could be treated like dust inhumanely. But it is not how they are treated. And this is what you guys got to understand. It's not about how you are treated. It's not about the feedback that validates you. What is important that builds character is the choice to declare yourself. When I declared who I was to some medical doctors while I was speaking with them, young students, and I said, I am Anson Phillip. I declared my ascendancy. Immediately, two of them took offense to that, and they immediately began to attack me verbally. When I responded, they said, we feel intimidated, we feel unsafe with your presence here, and they called security on me and moved me out. All because I was confident in who I was. I want you to understand this. That ascendancy will provoke people to become offended and intimidated by you. And they will look for every single means to destroy you, as they did Christ, not understanding that in doing so they fulfill the ascendancy and purpose for which you have come. Because by them attacking him and eventually crucifying him, he was able to save the souls and lives of whoever believed in him. Because he did not come on a physical mission, he came on a spiritual mission to release the virtues and attributes unto the world. In short, that's a poetic way of saying to show people that goodness is not rewarded all the time with goodness. That you end up being fatalistic, you can be killed, and it looks like the story is over. But it's never over. Someone becomes inspired by your death and will take the torch and carry it on. And there is a resurrection. As Jesus was resurrected and elevated even further and manifested in his followers. Similarly, by your death, what they like to call martyrdom, it spreads the attributes that you lived by to other people, if you lived by them. And they are motivated to carry on that thing so that it never dies. So this scripture is speaking about that. It's called the ascension. It is when your mind state and your mind is made up to walk a certain way that is correct and right, regardless of consequence. And it's beautiful when people are principled like that and willing to die for principle. But in this case, it wasn't just willing to die for principle, but it was also living and dying by who you are. Jesus was authentic to who he was and who he belonged to. And when people try to force you to be something else that you're not, you can only be yourself. And you cannot be apologetic about it. So, Jesus was unapologetic about what he was, and he declared what he was to them. And he told them prophetically what he would do. And for that, they mocked him, beat him, and told him to keep on prophesying because he prophesied. And he was considered a false prophet and labeled negatively. We've seen that with Zack Snyder, haven't we? So that's all I got to say about that for now. I'll catch you guys later. Do have a good day. Peace.